Happy Tuesday, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you a little later than I wanted to, but sometimes the news breaks a little bit in the middle of the day. Not enough, much I can do about it till later in the afternoon, but Tobe Awaka to the portal. Talked about it last night when I did the video about DJ Jefferson going to the portal. Said there had been rumors about Awaka going to the portal. I was hoping it was not true. Turns out today, where there's smoke, there is fire. As Awaka has, I don't know if he's officially in, but he did announce, I think it said by via his Instagram, that he is in the transfer portal. This is not one I wanted to see. This is definitely not one to see. But, is he replaceable? I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask on that. I'll be honest, though, I would prefer not to replace him. So now that leaves Tennessee with 5 roster openings. Tennessee better get on it a little bit if they're going to fill this roster out. They had 13 scholarships this past year. Of course, Dalton Connect's gone. Santiago Vescovi, Josiah, Jordan James, all gone due to graduation. Now you've had 3 guys hit the portal. You've had Freddie Oyon, who started it off. You had DJ Jefferson, who entered last night. Tobe Awaka today. Who's to say this is the last one? All right. I don't think you can say for sure in this portal era where it's basically a free-for-all at this point, where teams can tamper and basically have no repercussions. I have seen speculation that St. John's has been tampering with Awaka. He is from the New York state. So who knows? Who knows? Again, smoke, fire. A lot of times, you hear a little bit of it. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes it isn't. In this case, at least in terms of Awaka hitting the portal, it is true. So what's that leave Tennessee with as of now? Jonas Adu, Jordan Gainey, Sakai Ziegler, Cade Phillips, J.P. Estrella, Jemai Mashak, Cameron Carr, and then you have Bishop Boswell, combo guard coming in out of North Carolina as a freshman. So that's 8 spots you have open. That's 5 you have to fill. I've seen speculation about Cade Phillips. I've seen speculation with Jonas Adu. Who knows what Jonas Adu, that I saw that, they had to work hard to keep him last off season. So is that another case where they have to work hard to keep him? I think in this era, you have to almost re-recruit your players every year. It kind of sucks. It is what it is, but it is the landscape that we're in. It's not going to change anytime soon. And so, I've talked about names hard to come by. A little bit I've seen is, I did see Ben McKee throw out a few more names on 24/7 message board today. The names he threw out and I was looking them up. BJ Freeman from Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Aaron Scott from North Texas, Eric Daly from Oklahoma State. Let's see. Darlene Stone Dubar from Hofstra. I've heard this one from Eric Kane. It was in the VolQuest article last week, and then McKee mentioned him as well. And then St. Thomas, that's a name that I heard last week that also was mentioned in a board post today as well. So not a lot. Somebody asked about Cade Tyson from Belmont, said they're interested there. So this is the names that I've either heard about through another show or read about through a message board on here. And, one thing I like to do on here is about 95% of the info, the videos I've done have been my own work. I will try to source or quote, if I catch something from somebody, because I'm not an insider. I don't have the inside information. I kind of read and try to pick up on what I can on here. I'll never take somebody's work and try to claim it as my own. Like I said, 95% of the stuff I put together has been from my own research, my own putting together, my own observations and stuff as well. This portal stuff, I'm going to quote where it's coming from because I don't have it, and a lot of info is hard to come by. And you may see some other guys in these other networks, on 24/7 Rivals or some of them, that get that info, because you had Travis Branham, I think, who was the first one. He's a 24/7 Sports that reported Freddie DeLeon. Not sure who the first one was on Awaka today, but the information I seen, of course, I got it through 247. VolQuest, I'm sure, was on it as well. But I'll bring, as much information as I can when I get it, when I come across it, when it's valid. I'm not just going to run with every single rumor. I'm not on here trying to create, a click fest or a clickbait fest or anything. I feel that insults the listener's intelligence if I put out a bunch of crap on there and then you tune in just for me to gain clicks on it. That's pretty shitty. for lack of a better term, on it. I'm not going down that road. It's going to be as much information as possible. If it's something that has a little bit of legs to it, we'll go with that. But otherwise, I'll wait till it's kind of more in that factual. We'll speculate a little bit. If I see there's nothing to something, I won't bring it to the table. And something worth monitoring still is, and I haven't seen anything in a couple days about it since I mentioned it last night, was possibly Rod Clark joining Michigan's staff. So I'm hoping with these defections and that Clark stays. I think it would be a loss to Rick Barnes' staff. Would I have faith in Rick Barnes to go out and get another good assistant coach? Absolutely. But, at the same time, I don't want to see him lose a good one, a guy who has a lot of ties, especially in the Midwest and Texas, and a guy who's proven to be a really good coach on this staff. So Tennessee's got their work cut out for them in filling out this roster. Based on where it's at right now, though, you have some good players coming back with Ziegler. With Adu, say what you will about Adu. I know a lot of people's down on him, myself included, at the end of the year. That doesn't take away from the improvements he made this year. And if he improves as much next year as he did this year, he'd be a really good player. I still think you need that bruiser type guy. And these guys that I mentioned that I've seen, the thing I've seen them all have in common, they're all around 6'7", 6'6", 6'8", in that range. So they're looking for kind of that Dalton Connect size guy. I don't know if you'll get somebody to come in and score like him. But, hey, with right now 5 spots to add, you can get multiple scores. Now, I don't know how much NIL is going to play into this. I don't know how much other schools NIL, you don't know what the war chest is of NIL. You don't know how much Rick Barnes uses that as well. But with 5 positions, you better be finding you a war chest if you're going to restock this team. And, the main thing to watch, too, could there be more? Could there be more? And like I said, I've mentioned Cade Phillips is the name I've seen speculated. Does that happen? Could there be anybody else? And I've seen some of you mention, and if I haven't responded to you, I will get around to it. If I get it overnight and in the mornings, I can't respond during the day. But I think it's, Barnes' class says he seems to be losing at least 2 or 3 recruits each year to the portal and stuff. Is there a problem with evaluations? Is there a problem with just guys not wanting to wait their turn? I did see something about Jefferson. I speculate Doghouse that he was apparently suspended earlier in the season. So maybe that led to him not getting off the bench when it was crunch time, or not crunch time, when it was mop-up time later in the year. So I don't know if it's a problem of evaluations, because there's been numerous guys transfer out, go mid-major, and be really good, but that doesn't necessarily mean it translates to SEC basketball either. So I don't know where the disconnect is here, but Tennessee needs to hit on these evaluations, because I think with some of these guys we saw come in this year, you saw a little bit of guys that had potential, and you saw some guys that might have been a ways off. They've got to hit better on these evaluations moving forward. But, again, the biggest news in all this, Tobe Awaka, a guy who I think would have been a big contributor next year. He is in the portal. Don't expect him to come back, not unless that he's out searching for NIL and they pony up the NIL money to bring him back. My suspicion, excuse me for that, is that we've seen the last of him in a Tennessee uniform, but it remains to be seen. Like I said, any information that's viable, that's legitimate, where there's legs to something we can run with, I'll bring it along to you along the way. Baseball does play tonight as of now. I'm not sure how the rain is. From what I've heard, the forecast looks pretty good for getting a baseball game this evening. I'll have a post-game review tonight. Friday night, I'm going to go live after the LSU baseball game. We're going to check out the live show stuff with baseball again, and we'll go from there. It's going to be an exciting series, a big series coming up this weekend, and we'll go from there. I keep saying it, I'll get to football at some point. Honestly, my interest is not there in football right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm more into the basketball and baseball stuff than I am football. Not that I won't be into football come football time, but we're in basketball portal season. We're right in the thick of baseball season, but there'll be more information. I'll do a spring recap over the weekend, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, that you should that you share, that you subscribe. It is free. It does not cost anything. But you guys have a good rest of your day. Frank Rock, House of Orange, as always. Go Vols.